Okay, today we're going to look at this Yard Machine 8-horse snowblower. It's been sitting for about 10 years. Something's broken in the gearbox in the front, but we're going to try to get the engine running, see if it's worth saving. I'm going to go over the steps of what I would do to try to get it running. So first we're going to take the cover off the carburetor and spray a little starting fluid in there and see if we can get it to make some noise. I checked the oil. It's dirty, but the level's fine and it pulls over okay, so I think we'll be able to get it to run. Okay, we're going to spray a little bit of starting fluid into the carburetor and see if we can at least get the engine to make some kind of noise that makes me think it'll run. Choke's on, throttle's up. Okay, I definitely think it'll run. Let's pull the carburetor off, clean it up, and put it back on and see what happens. Okay, we're going to disconnect this hose right here. This is for the prime ball. Should just pull off, just like that. Now we're going to disconnect. We're going to take these two bolts out, one on each side of the intake. Okay, we got both the bolts loose. Now you might have to tap on the carburetor, push on it to get it broke free from the intake. Now we're going to disconnect the fuel line. Some models have a fuel shutoff below the fuel tank. I don't know if this model does or not. Yes, this model does, and I shut it off. Now we're going to pull the fuel hose off, and we're going to take the linkage out for the throttle. Now these carburetors are relatively cheap if you want to buy an aftermarket one off Amazon or eBay. I'll make another video on how to find your model number on snowblowers and other lawn equipment and how to find your part number you need. Okay, once your fuel line's off, you should be able to pop off this throttle linkage, and you're left with the carburetor. Now we'll tear this apart and see what it looks like inside. Okay, now we'll tear the carburetor apart. First we're going to spray it with some brake part cleaner just to clean up the body of the carburetor a little bit. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. A lot of this just comes right off. We'll spray in some of these holes. We got to get that freed up so it moves easy. Alright, let's take the bowl off the carburetor. These are usually half-inch wrench, half-inch socket. Usually fits these. This right here is a drain to drain the fuel out of your carburetor. A lot of times though, the gasket inside of here that seals this up, they go bad and they leak. Okay, this type of carburetor, fuel gets let in through these holes right here on this bolt that holds the carburetor bowl on. Now it's very important to get these clean. These can be a pain to get cleaned out, but we'll do that last. Let's see what the rest of this looks like. Pretty bad looking. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to spray in every passage. We'll take the float itself out. To remove the float, there's this pin that goes through here. It holds the float. You got to use like a pair of needle nose pliers and just pull it out. Okay, it looks like it's coming out now. There it is. Set that aside. Pull the float off. There's your needle. This needle here doesn't have a rubber tip, so I'm assuming there's a rubber O-ring in here, which is probably bad. Okay, now if I spray in this hole, this is where fuel's let in. I should get something out of here. That's where the fuel would actually enter the carburetor bowl. And then we do, so looks like that's clear. We'll blow through all these holes. That one should let into the actual intake. Another thing you need to do is shake this. If it's full of gas, that's not a good thing. You got a hole in it. This one doesn't appear to be. It's just a lot of tarnish on it from the old gas. Really, this probably needs to soak or be in an ultrasonic cleaner, but we're not going to do that on this one. I just want to know if this engine's going to run, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, to put the float back in, the needle's still on there. It didn't come off, which is fine. Looks like my rubber gasket's still down in there where the needle seats. So I'm going to put the float in here. Put the pin back in. Let's spray the pin off. Okay, once you get the pin in, you can see it's about even. Your float moves free. Just spray it a little bit to clean it up. Put your bowl back on. We'll clean out this now. You can see when I spray it in there, there's a little hole right up here where carburetor cleaner is coming out of. There's also holes down here. We need to make sure they're completely open. Okay, our holes are open. You can see light shining through this hole. And there's also another little tiny hole located right there. That when I blow carb cleaner in, I can see it coming out of that, so I know it's open. We'll put these two gaskets back on. Put the bowl back in. Tighten up our bolt. Snug it up. Now we'll put it back on the snowblower. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put this linkage back on. We're going to do it in the reverse order. Here we got the linkage on. Now we're going to get our fuel line on. Now we're going to put our bolts back in. Okay, once you get them in, don't forget to hook up this line right here, which, like I said before, it's for your prime ball. Put a little bit of fuel in the tank, see what happens. Okay, let's turn our fuel on, see if we have any leaks. Oh, we got a leak. Alright, we're going to try to start it now. Let's prime it a few times. Throttle up. Choke on. Well, it started. Alright, I'm going to push the little button on the bottom of the carburetor, see if we got fuel down there. And we don't. Let's take the bowl off our carburetor. Got no fuel in there, so... Oh, there we go. Now we got a little bit. Okay, well, our float was just hung up. Put our bolt back in, snug it up. Alright, well, we know it's going to run. The carburetor's leaking. I think it's coming from the fuel line, but the inside of that carburetor was pretty bad, so we'll probably order up a new carburetor. I think the engine's fine. It didn't smoke. That was basically how you tear it apart, put it back together. This one's just pretty far gone. In another video, I'll show you where you find the model number for your snowblower so you can order a replacement carb. I'll tell you how I do it. Hopefully this helped somebody. Thanks for watching. Oh, another thing. A lot of people take the covers off of these carburetors, the shrouds, and they think, where's my air filter? Well, these snowblowers don't come with air filters on them. I guess they assume you're using them in the winter. There's no dust. So somebody didn't take off your air filter and throw it away. It's just they don't come with them. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hopefully this helped somebody. Leave a comment down below if I did something wrong or you want me to make a video of something else. So thanks for watching.